All right, welcome back to another episode of the Pin High Podcast presented by Pin High Media. It is officially the golf snooze off season with the Butterfield Bermuda Championship. So let's get into talking about that.
This is Jordan Spieth here, and
this is the Pin High Podcast.
All right, let's get inside the ropes to start off. We have a new world number one. I guess that's like the big news of the week. The CJ Cup, I mean, like, it had a good field and everything. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty promising, but it's also a shortened field, so there's less golf. And the PGA Tour barely even showed tournament. There was like no PGA Tour live, I'm pretty sure, right? The second week in a row, or not second week in a row. Yeah, Zozo and
yeah, it's tough on Sundays.
That doesn't really surprise me.
2 straight weeks without PGA Tour live, so it's just kind of like, can you even really count it? Because I watch PGA Tour live more than I probably watch the main broadcast.
Yeah, you're probably like people are streaming at work of the PGA Tour live broadcasts on Thursday and Friday, and they have stuff to do on Saturday and Sunday, especially during football season.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it also is just like weekends during the fall are just like, I feel like way busier than any other time of the year.
Absolutely. This was, like you said, it was a good tournament. Rory and John Rahm are basically battling down the stretch. It's a good tournament, a good field. I thought it was like a pretty cool course. Like South Carolina golf showed out. I thought course looked like every single shot or putt I saw, it was like people were barely tapping the ball, which was pretty sweet. And I like the whole, like, literally if you don't hit in the fairway, you're in the sand essentially, which I thought was very cool. But I like the little bit I saw, I thought was really cool. And I don't know, I wish there was, if it wasn't during football season, I think it would have gotten a lot more praise from people, but it probably is the best time of year to go play golf in South Carolina, if that makes sense. But it was incredible.
You can't really ask for more in an off-season event. I mean, your marquee player wins the tournament. You have a pretty good field. You have some, notable players around the top: John Rahm, Tommy Fleetwood, Cage Lee.
Yeah.
Good golf course, great weather. I mean, again, off-season tournament, but that's kind of what you want from one of these tournaments if you had to ask for it.
The way I think about like ranking a golf tournament though, and like assessing how good it was, is like, because like I'll watch the last 9 holes of any golf tournament. I'll watch Trey Mullinax battle down the stretch with Russell Knox. Like, it's the end of a golf tournament. It's good.
Yep.
But if the rest of the tournament is just like, I mean, it's not that it was bad. It was that it was just like pretty inaccessible.
Yeah.
So it's like, yes, like the Rory won. It was down the stretch with John Rahm, like Kyung Hoon Lee. I guess Fleetwood was technically in there, which is interesting. It's just like, yeah, like the ending of golf tournaments is interesting. It's just like it's just hard to tune into the rest of the tournament because like it came on Friday at like 3 or something like that. And it's just like, well, or Thursday and Friday. So it's like the prime watching for me personally is like Thursday during the day on PGA Tour Live while I work. But I guess that's not for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's honestly, it'd be interesting to see like what the peak viewing hours are for PGA Tour Live, and like watching it on Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday during the fall are just gonna get beaten out by football no matter what. It's just hard to show it at, like, hard to pick the right time for it to end. Like, I was watching because I was genuinely curious, and honestly, if the Bears were playing, I probably wouldn't be watching because I was watching that with Red Zone on another screen. But it's like, I wonder, like, there has to be a way to them to get their product out better, especially with, he said, PGA Tour Live not showing up this week when it's a good field, people are going to want to watch. And
I'm right that there was no PGA Tour live, right? Like I don't want to be. I'm like
I have no idea.
99.9% positive.
I'm taking your word for it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just you would assume that NBC or Golf Channel would at least show it, but
No, they were.
yeah,
No, the golf tournament was on TV. No, that's not what I'm saying. I don't think that PGA Tour live was going on.
yeah, I don't know. Like usually ESPN carries that, and I'm gonna guess that they weren't carrying that this week.
It was also
Granted, the golf tournament was also incredibly remote.
when we were remote.
Like, there's nothing in wherever that whatever in Ridgeland,
Yeah,
South
there's
Carolina.
nothing.
Like apparently there's nothing for just like miles and miles and miles.
Yeah, but like it's also a smaller field, so maybe that played a part. And they can just the golf channel can just say, hey, we're just gonna broadcast from 3 to 6, and that'll show most of the field anyway. Maybe that's what it was. But I don't remember what time they teed off on. I feel like they teed off decently early though, actually on
Yeah, they did.
Thursday and Friday. But I don't know.
But do you guys happen to see Max Homa's tweet after this week?
No.
I did.
Dear golf, we're going to be taking a break for a little bit. It's not that I don't love you, but it's been a long year and I want to miss you again. Thank you for understanding. Please beat up on some others while I'm gone. I don't want you to get rusty. Sincerely, a tired golfer. And I think that also like relates to just golf fans because you watch just a lot of golf every single weekend for golf season, and then like the Butterfield Bermuda Championship rolls around for like this weekend, and you're like, oh wow, yeah, I mean, it's the off season, and you need those tournaments to happen from now until like the Hero or whatever it is, and then there's that long break before the Century, and you need that because when the Century comes around every year, we're always like, oh yeah, golf's freaking back.
Yeah, it's go
The
time.
Century, we're so hyped for the Century every year. And I agree. I think has a lot to do with there's a little bit of a calm down period after basically the President's Cup or Ryder Cup, I guess.
Even this little stretch though isn't that bad that we've had the past like month.
No, it's not bad. Like this is a good tournament, but it's I guess this is what kind of the PGA Tour is getting at in these elevated events, or technically they're not elevated, but elevated events that are going to feature the best players, and the best players don't get to play in the fall swing and worry about getting FedEx Cup points. Like that's smart on their part, honestly. And well, and like for a guy like Max Homa, you can take some time and relax, and like he has the luxury of doing that for like probably like I don't know. He's been grinding for his whole life.
Well, I think his kids also do like
yeah, I'll say his wife's
November.
pregnant. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
So. But it is just kind of a little reset, and for like hardcore golf fans, which I consider us not maybe not like the hardcore golf fans, but we're pretty in tune with golf.
We've talked about golf for about an hour for the past
156 weeks.
156 weeks. We're hardcore.
Yeah,
we're hardcore.
You're right. And
even though it comes off as maybe like we're a little not hardcore when we like don't watch like a tournament that much or something like that, it's like if you're, I mean, I guess you can be really really hardcore and watch like every second of every tournament, but
yeah, and
a person who does that and I show you an absolute psychopath,
and if you want to do that, go ahead. We will not be doing that, and we will watch the back nine on a football Sunday, and we will enjoy it, and that's all we need to watch because it doesn't really matter that much when guys like when the Bermuda Championship is on this weekend, and the average golf fan can't really name a player in the field. Probably,
I'm sure there's a lot of people on golf Twitter where it's like that watch like that much golf.
Yeah, I think even like the no laying up guys, like they'll see highlights or like they'll see stuff, and then like they'll watch most of Sunday. Like that probably makes sense, but even then they're not going to watch every second because they're people of lives too. So, but it's I don't know what I was saying is everyone needs a reset. I think this is the perfect reset. We can
the Century's so awesome. Like
So good.
you got for a multitude of reasons. You got the new equipment coming out that you get to see the players playing. It's in Hawaii, which every year in January when you're in the East Coast on the East Coast, you're like, wow, I wish I was there right now.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly.
And then, I mean, it's just like the new season. You've been depraved of golf for. I mean, it's kind of weird when you don't have a tournament for like 3 straight weekends or whatever it is. It's like, you kind of get a little withdrawal because we're so used to seeing it every single weekend. It's just like constant. And it's the best field.
And it's like prime. It's like prime time. Like what's better
Prime
than
time golf too. Yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of have to
primetime
break
golf.
to pick with primetime golf though, because it's like I like to watch golf during the day because like I'm doing stuff at night.
that's true. That's true. But like on like a like cold January night, like Thursday night, like
I
coming home
will
from
say
work.
that weekend though is just like you're not doing anything because it's cold,
No,
like just past the holidays, and like
there's like
you're not
the
out
NFL
doing
is
things.
sometimes
Yeah.
the NFL is there's no more NFL. Sometimes there's no more. There's definitely no more college football at that point. So it's there's not a whole lot to, unless you're watching the NBA, which I know we watch the NBA. I don't as much as you guys, but
I don't watch the NBA.
I watch the NBA, but yeah.
but like, it's the start of the golf season for us. And it's great.
It's
It
just
gets
the
us so
perfect
in the
starting
mood.
point for the golf
Yeah,
season, honestly. So I can't wait for that, but we do have a long couple of months between
So here's
now and
a
then.
little debate which has popped up on, I think Rory might have said something about it. He said golf needs more of an off season. Like there needs to just not be like tournaments through whatever, like that, like like a longer span of no tournaments, which it's just like, I mean, the PGA Tour is never going to do that. They're not going to take away tournaments, make less money just because, like, you're still not like he's not going to play in them, so he can still take his off season. Like, I don't. Rory played in like 12 PGA Tour events last year, so it's like
Right.
I don't know. Like, I don't really think you need to take tournaments away. I mean, just from a business
that,
standpoint, like that's not going to happen.
Now, does it
well,
put
I
players
think
at a disadvantage though if they don't play in those tournaments and then
that's
like
the
at the end of the
whole
season you're not in the top 30? Like,
that's the whole point of this. From what I can tell, this whole FedEx like realignment of like the top tournaments is the players that the players don't have to play. The top guys don't have to play in the fall swing. Um, and it's like the fall swing I think is going to be more like tournaments like the Bermuda, which is good in the sense that those guys can work to get their card and work to get into like I think there's gonna like the top whatever to stay in stay on the tour and be in those and potentially be in those top tier events, but also it gives them a little more TV time too to say, hey, we're even if like not as many people are gonna watch because not the top guys are playing like I wonder what the difference was between this week and the Bermuda. Like obviously there's going to be a difference, but I don't know how big of a difference it is.
Oh,
And
you mean
then
field, or do you mean the viewership?
no, watch like
Oh, yeah.
people watching, like and because people probably didn't know there was a golf tournament going on last week, and probably don't know there's a golf tournament going on this week, and there are those people that would still watch in the summer. So it's if you turn on the golf channel and say like, oh, this guy is like pretty cool and he's winning and like stuff like that, people it gives more exposure to those younger guys, and maybe it gives them a chance for people to latch on to them and when they get to like the top of the PGA Tour. So I think whenever that happens, and I've been out of touch with that whole um, update as far as the new season and the new formats for everything. But when I think that will be a big boost for the office. It'll be the top guys will be happier, and the bottom tier guys will be happier because they can get a chance for wins and they get up there and make a name for themselves too.
So I want to play a game with you guys. Have either of you guys seen the odds list?
No,
I looked momentarily, but I
Okay,
probably already
so I'll
forgot.
ask Trevor this.
mm-hmm.
Trevor, who is favored to win the Bermuda Championship?
God, I don't even know who's.
You probably don't even know who's in the field.
Oh, I don't.
But
I
just
have no
like I
idea.
know exactly. Just like just think about who it is. Just who's favored in the fall.
Russell Knox.
pretty close.
That's a good shout.
Who is it?
It's Denny McCarthy. You were
They're basically the same person.
It could have been Russell Knox.
I was thinking of Russell Henley and Russell Knox. I'm like, Russell Henley's a little bit better, so maybe Russell Knox is favorite.
Russell Knox is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6th in the odds list. Russell Knox is 30 to 1 to win. So that was actually a very good guess.
I don't know who's the top 5. I'm trying to get
it's McCarthy. So Denny McCarthy, Thomas Detry, Adrian Moronk.
Who the hell is that?
I know who he is. I think he's like a European tour guy, right? And Seamus Power. Oh, that's 4. Mark Hubbard as well. Seamus Power at 25 to 1 is like not awful.
Man, yeah, you're right. You got to be a hardcore golf fan to be talking about the Bermuda Championship and how in this talking about who's going to win the Bermuda Championship.
This is an opportunity. So we're talking about this before we started recording, but in the one and done pool for the Penhigh podcast, we are struggling right now. We fell from 371 to like 487 out of 800 people because Sung JM went out and came in like 34 out of 80.
He stunk.
Not good.
He was good the first day and then just
good the first day.
Straight downhill after that, which was unfortunate.
So
I kind of feel bad
because there is nobody, unless I guess if you really want to pick like Denny McCarthy or like one of the top like 3 or 2 guys like McCarthy and Detry maybe will be chalky. There will be nobody's that's that chalky this week.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad. I wish Kurt Kitayama was playing this week because that guy has been trending way up, but he's not playing, so tough.
Yeah, so this field is tough, but I think if we're really gonna like make a move, it's this week. Like we gotta do something.
Yeah, we got
it could be a major move. You pick a winner this week because like you could pick a guy that nobody out of 800 people has.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at some course history here, just cause. Brian Gay's kind of your guy.
Really?
T12, a win, and a T3.
T12 and a T3?
And a win.
And a win. Is he playing this week?
He is playing this week.
What are his odds?
95 to 1.
Okay.
It's actually not. That's actually it's in fact 95 to 1.
That's really not that bad.
Now, this would also be a good week to pick one of your Korn Ferry Tour guys. Just if there's somebody that you liked on the Korn Ferry Tour last year, they're probably in this field, and they might be someone you want to pick.
So this is the tournament where it's like usually like super windy, right?
Yeah, I'm trying to find win stats or something like that. Brian Gay might be the pick.
I just feel like other people might be onto that.
Yeah.
For 95 to 1.
Like, he's playing on the Champions Tour, but he finished T5, T43, T6 the past 3 weeks on the Champions Tour.
So there's been only this tournament has only been played 3 times, and it's been Brendan Todd, Brian Gay, and Justin Herbert.
Lucas Herbert, but yeah, Justin Herbert plays football. But
Lucas Herbert.
I'm going to be pretty impressive for Justin Herbert to go out here.
He came out to Bermuda in the middle of the NFL season.
Yeah. He's on a bye week. You never know.
This course is
Herbert,
This is a really short course too. I think they only plays like 6,800 yards, which is like nothing for a PGA Tour course. Now, obviously, wind is a issue, but
Brendan Todd won it. So, just right off the bat, when I hear you don't have to be long and just kind of like wind player, I don't know I'm not even particularly sure if he's a wind player, but like I'm getting Grayson Sigg in my head.
He's a bomber though, isn't he?
Is he?
I swear he was a bomber.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't hit the ball very far. Let me look real quick.
I could be very wrong. That
Is
just
there anyone that you guys have?
I'm looking it up. He's only 296 average off the tee. Last
Yeah.
season, 294.
Yeah, that's not.
Yeah, it's like
He's
100.
142nd in driving distance this year. But he's
interesting.
like not in bad form. At T9 with Sanderson.
Yeah,
I mean,
Brian.
what do you think of Ben On?
Ooh, that'd be interesting. How's he been playing?
I'm pretty sure he came back from did he win the Corn Ferry Tour Championship, Ben On? Or did he just came back from the Corn Ferry Tour?
He just
Um,
came back. I don't know. I don't remember if he came. I can't keep
I
his name.
think Justin So won the Corn Ferry Tour.
Oh, you're right. You're right. He did.
Um, yeah, looking at this Corn Ferry Tour Championship, Harry Hall seems very interesting as a Corn Ferry Tour guy.
So Lucas Herbert won last year, and he's somebody like who plays in Europe a lot. Adrian Moronk is someone who plays in Europe a lot. Harry Hall is somebody who plays in Europe a lot.
Is that really what you want to
Who is Harry
go from?
Hall?
I mean, Harry Hall finished T15 at the Shriners, cut at the Sanderson, cut at the Fortinet.
He isn't.
But he came third in the Corn Ferry Championship. So I don't know.
Dead. He's not a good approach player. That looks like.
When I think of Brendan Todd, I align him with Ryan Armour because they're both just
Ryan Armour too.
guys who hit the fairway. You don't know who Ryan Armour is?
I was thinking of Ryan Armour.
So Ryan Armour had 3 finishes, or he played all 3 years here. T67 last year, so not great, but T8 both in 2019 and 2020.
T13 at Sanderson, cut Shriners. He could be a name.
You know, like this tournament feels like
like a Ryan Armour tournament.
But more than any other tournament, this feels like a close your eyes and like throw a dart like type of tournament. But
I'm down to go with Ryan Armour. He's like it's weird. It's weird enough and off the beaten path enough where he has some course history, but also like who's gonna pick Ryan Armour? I guess everyone listening to this pod is gonna pick Ryan Armour.
Yeah,
but not in this. Nobody who listens to this pod, I don't think, is in the one and done pool. Which, if they did, then that's a very good advantage for them.
Yeah. But I think that's not a bad play. Someone who just hits fairways. I don't know. I'm.
Why does everybody just
Akshay Patia is playing this week?
Oh, really?
Oh, that's
he actually won a couple like on the Corn Ferry last year, didn't he?
He won the first event of the season on the Corn Ferry Tour, and I'm pretty sure he didn't win again, but he like got his card, so there's that.
Kramer Hickok has good finishes here.
Kramer Hickok does
T8, T15.
About I like Callum Tarrant, Ryan Armour, but what do you think of Callum Tarrant? What do you know his
English, right?
He's not that short off the tee, is he?
No, but you don't have to be short off the tee.
What did he have? He was 13th at the Sanderson Farms. Kind of hasn't been as good as late, but interesting.
I'm gonna be kicking myself if Ryan Armour wins this tournament. We don't pick Ryan Armour.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
In the spirit of good podcasting, we should probably move on. But what do you think of that? That's like the new segment of the fall swing. It's just like
Yeah, I know. It's just us talking about
just
who to pick.
talking through it. Like we all do, whatever research we do, and then
You think
kind of hash it out together.
you think Garrett Higo is like too popular for a pick?
Apparently he's like I saw it on Twitter,
He's
like
the
everybody
pick.
loves Garrett
Higo?
Higo. Everybody loves Garrett Higo this week.
Interesting.
I think Brian Kirshner talking about it.
I kind of love him this week.
Well, that's dear to the public then.
I guess that was just a dart throw.
What are his odds?
41-1.
Interesting.
Yeah, this is just so
Speak
tough.
now or forever hold your peace. Ryan
I'm
Armour.
good with Ryan Armour. I'm stuck. I'm at a loss.
Bro,
Okay.
John Daly's playing this week.
Yeah, I saw that. I was going through the field for match play ambassadors to like check who was playing this week, and I saw him. I was like, oh my god, of course.
I hope someone in the pool picks him. Is their
Yeah.
He won't.
Okay, wait. Sorry to the listeners. One more guy. Aaron Rye.
Ooh.
I like him a lot.
He's got to be
just-
up there. What was him
Yeah.
on? Was he on the odds list?
I see 28-1.
Hmm.
He'd probably be a pretty popular pick if I had to.
Yeah.
but
Sorry,
he
Ryan.
can-
We can't. Ryan Armour.
I feel like we can't not pick Ryan Armour now.
Yeah,
we got stuck.
But Aaron Rye is better, worse odds.
So
The
Aaron
only
Rye
thing
will
is
be
like
our
a strategy for this tournament. I mean, we already picked Ryan Armour, but like a strategy for this tournament would just be to pick the guy with the lowest odds because like you're never going to use anyone in this tournament again for any other pick.
Yeah,
You shouldn't. You really shouldn't.
Aaron Rye and Aaron Rye is in the come ups. Maybe we have an opportunity to use him again in the future.
Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, I don't know if we'll pick Aaron Rye again this year, but maybe.
So yeah, I'm cool with locking in Ryan Armour, even though I'm not 100% sold on it. But like,
Yeah,
All right, I locked
it's
it in.
kind of a dart. And then for our alternate pick,
Aaron Rye.
Aaron Rye.
okay,
I like Aaron Rye.
It's hard to find these people because they're just so far down the list. Okay, so let's move on.
Control F and scroll.
Let's get inside the clubhouse. What do you want to end with? Just like, have you played any golf? I guess Jake plays some golf. I haven't played golf since our trip still. It's
I
crazy.
didn't play.
I played on Saturday.
I think I'm gonna play this weekend.
The people that listen to this podcast from like the beginning are like, wow, these kids used to play golf like every single day, and now we just I honestly kind of want to go listen back to like a pandemic pod and just like
Pandemic pod.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys
play golf.
Yeah. I played 5 times this week, and I went.
We used to go into the
4 this week.
kind of wow. We went into like the studio. Like
I didn't play a whole lot, and I was a little rusty after my couple days off. When I went.
Yeah, I didn't play for 2 days. It was tough.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, I played. So I played this weekend. It was my first first full round, and like since we went on that trip, Pat.
Yeah.
I actually hit the ball pretty well, but the wedge game at the beginning of the round like was just so bad. Like I was just like hit the ball great off the tee, and then like of course it's silver mine, so like it's always a wedge in, and like I just like skull a wedge. I scored a wedge on the 4th hole, like about as far as I've ever scored a wedge over a green. Like I was like 100 yards. I hit it like 250 with a wedge.
Oh my god.
But then we calmed down after the first 4 holes. But the one thing that pissed me off is I hit the most pure 3-wood of my life on 16, and it went right into the tree and it landed in a bunker, and I made like 6. And it was like the best feeling 3-wood I've ever hit. So golf.
Jeek. When did we start this in 2019 or 2020? Podcast 2019, right?
2019, I think. Yeah, late 2019.
For some reason, Apple Podcast only goes back to November 25th, 2020. Episode 56, 1 through 55. Just I don't know if they're
Just gone into the void.
they might be gone.
Oh well. They're probably they're on
maybe
YouTube
it's like,
and maybe Spotify and
well, I know there was a bit on Part of My Take where like they would have like every podcast was their 500th episode or something like that, because like they would just delete after a while or
Oh, right.
stop it. So
Yeah,
maybe it's something like that. I don't know.
yeah,
that might be
I don't
it.
know. That was before I controlled the
Oh, maybe that's
podcast. So
Oh, right.
but wait, like I bet you I could go back. Yeah, no,
Look on YouTube.
Spotify only
Yeah.
goes back to 56 as well, but people still listen to episode 1, so I don't know.
Okay.
Where?
Yeah, I see episode 3. Brendan Todd resurgence.
the Brendan Todd. Oh my god, he was our boy.
Lord.
I think he won, like, he was our pin high golfer of the year. Year 1.
Yeah, who was pin high golfer of the year this past year?
I already forgot.
Cam Young. It might have been Cam Young.
I thought Cam Young won
Was it Cam?
Cam of the Year. No, wait, Cam Davis won Cam of the Year. Spoiler.
That's crazy. Wow, we look very young in all these.
It might be Cam Young. We picked him the most. We had to.
I mean, if you really want a blast from the past, the podcast that shall not be named before the Pin Eye podcast.
Yeah. Yeah.
Those are probably out there. Those are probably out there in the world somewhere.
Oh, they're out there.
Oh my god.
And I've listened to it before, and we don't say anything like incriminating. We're just like, it's just not very good.
It's just
I remember that Family Guy thing we were talking about.
Oh, yeah. I mean, not incriminating, pretty funny, but
just the bad visual.
Bad visuals. We had some great
segments. Not gonna lie, we got to bring back some segments here. The segments were great on that show.
I don't remember. I just remember like
Bad pairs.
We used to do 2 episodes a week too.
I know.
We did.
Yeah,
That's
it's crazy because we were like, oh, like all the Barstool podcasts do it. We have to do 2 episodes a week. It's like, dude, I can barely do 1 anymore.
Different times.
Oh my gosh.
Great segments though.
Too much free time on my hands.
That was back when we'd be drinking beers during the middle of the podcast and being like, all right, I gotta go. We're going out.
Yeah.
It's like on a random Thursday.
Yeah. Or like a Monday.
Also, we have an unreleased Pin High episode that's just from Jeek's, the top of Jeek's garage.
You know, that's probably somewhere on my computer right now, and I do not want to look at that.
That might be bad.
I should destruct that episode.
We're all pretty drunk.
Yes, that episode should be destructed.
I forgot about
I'm pretty sure Sawyer was there.
Yes.
Yeah, so
I don't remember what we talked about.
That'll never see the light of day.
No, absolutely not. If Sawyer was in it, it will definitely never see the light of the day.
Yeah.
I mean, what if anyone really wants to listen to that, we'll put that behind a paywall.
I'd put it behind it.
If you pay like $1,000, you could listen to that episode.
That's not you teach us.
It's not that bad. I'd do it for like $100.
Well, I would do it for like $50, but
yeah, I'll have to listen to it first. But yeah. Anyway, we should do a like during the break, we should do like just like a Pin High reminiscence pod.
I mean, I guess, yeah.
I mean, we just kind of did that for like a couple minutes, but
we could do that for like an hour though.
we could do Pin High reminiscence for like an hour. There's so many things from like
we're gonna have to bring some segments back for the off weeks. I feel like we had the golf course segments where we built golf courses. We need more stuff like that for the off week.
We'll just do a jam-packed segments. We'll actually like completely prepare out a full episode of like segments and like all this like random stuff.
We should just do a pod. Can we just do a podcast while we're playing PGA? That'd probably be a terrible podcast.
That'd be bad.
That'd be so bad because I'd be like, I can't talk right now. We could do a Twitch stream.
We tried to do that with.
We did.
Cut it.
Bleep it out. Bleep it.
We tried to play 2K. We tried to play Park.
Oh, yeah. You did. You're right.
It was
I
so
think
bad.
I think I bought 2K for that because it was like $20 and like for Black Friday, and I
Yeah,
never
because
played it again after that.
Me and Jeek were playing 2K like every day back then for like 3 hours each. And then we
Yeah,
were
it'd be
like,
like, all right, I got a midterm tomorrow. Like, come on, hop on. You got to play.
oh dude, I straight up failed a class because me and Jeek were just
Park
playing.
was life.
Me and Jeek were just playing park because the night before I was already probably screwed, but Jeek was like, come on, hop on for like 15 minutes. And I was like, you know what? I'll hop on for 15 minutes. And like 4 hours later, I was like,
Uh,
Good
those were
times,
the days.
simpler times.
Well, the Madden
yeah,
franchises too. I remember those.
those Madden
Played for
franchises
literally
were
two
fun.
weeks.
Madden online franchises. Shout
I
out
was
to
tough.
like,
I was terrible at that game
what
too.
was the guy's name? Start with a D.
Day.
Day.
Yeah.
That guy. So I didn't. I don't know what was going through my head. I don't know if I just didn't know what anime was, but that guy's like profile was anime, and I just assumed it was like a cartoon of himself. So I thought he was like somebody else, and then I realized he like sent in a selfie. I was like, that is not who I thought you were. But yeah,
That's
throw
funny.
back to just like interacting with like 35-year-olds every day.
Yeah, like random people.
Yep.
Now I understand why everybody couldn't play until like 1 a.m.
Yeah, because if I played one of those leagues now where you have to play someone every 48 hours, that'd be
And
like,
games
well,
taking an
yeah,
hour and a half.
yeah. You're
Yeah,
like,
and
well,
I
yeah,
like
no, I
I
can't play.
recently have gotten mad and I realized how bad I am at that game. Like just so bad at that
I'm
game.
You used
never
to be
getting
really
that
good
game
though.
again. I'm
Used to
never,
be decent.
never
I
gonna
used
get
to be really, really good.
I used to
man.
be good at defense and running the ball. I could never throw, but like I'm so bad at the
I
game.
remember Pat torching me.
I'm so good. I played that game so much that I would just like dude, I knew like think about the best coach in actual football.
But
That
so
would be in Madden. I just like knew the reads.
Right. I mean,
you're
speaking
Tom
of video
Brady.
games, PGA Tour 2K, we have that game, the new game. We should maybe review it on one of these podcasts or something.
We
We
should.
should.
I haven't played it that much, but
I've been playing. I've been playing a decent amount. I actually ended up. I just bought it, but I've been
You
playing
didn't
a
get
decent
the
amount.
code?
Mm-mm.
Did you apply for it?
Yeah.
huh,
Ah,
Well, and if I get it, I'll give it to one of my friends, and I'll make him. I'll say, "Hey, just pay me $40 instead of 60."
right, make some money off of it.
yeah, fair enough. Okay.
Yeah, but it's fun. I like it. I just like playing the career mode, and there's Top Golf in it too. So I want to do that
I
one.
haven't tried that yet. Well,
I
I
haven't
gotta
tried
try it.
Top
Neither
Golf
have I.
yet.
All I know is I got
Bunkers
stuck
are
in a
really
bunker.
hard.
Bunker the first time I got stuck in the
Bunkers
bunker.
are really hard. It's
They made
it's a
them.
lot.
They're too hard.
You can actually top shots now too. It's kind of scary. Like swing speed matters so much more.
Yeah.
I mean, I've always was fine at like swing speed, but for some reason, out of bunkers,
Oh,
can't do it.
I was at the point where I was just in the old game where I would just snap hook everything, and now this game, the first couple of times I played, it was so bad.
And well, it's a bit like real life for me. Like I can't hit like chip shots when it goes to chip, and you don't realize that you're on a chip, and
I
the
hate
tempo is just like completely different.
I
I just
hate
like
that.
hit it like 5 yards.
Yeah.
So we have less than a minute and left in this pod, but this is what you can expect for the break
Yes,
of
Body
PGA
chatter.
Tour. And I think it's honestly some of our best podcasting,
It is.
like the pandemic. Anyway, we'll see you next week for whatever godforsaken tournament it is.